Hello, welcome to another episode of This, That, and the Other. And the subject I'm going to talk about today is something I happened to run across when I was reading some things about what you call Boy Scouts, or now called, Scouts of America. I was briefly in the Boy Scouts for a couple of months in the 1970s overseas and didn't stick with it long, but that's another story for another time. But anyway, I had never heard of a Lone Scout, and the show is mainly about preserving history, especially obscure aspects of history. Well, this really isn't a historical subject so much. It is definitely an obscure subject, because I had never heard of the Lone Scouts, and I'm sure a lot of other people have not either. But here is a Lone Scout badge. And I was going around the internet just looking for information on what a Lone Scout is. And it is a scout plan as a way for youth on the ages 7 to 10, first through fifth grades, to become Lone Scout, or ages 11 to 17 to become Lone Scouts BSA member. The youth applies for membership as an individual Lone Scout if he or she cannot conveniently join a Cub Scout pack or Scouts BSA troop. A lot of times they're going to miss the opportunities to participate in activities in the pack or troop, but there are certain advantages from the experience from what I was reading. The activities can be done entirely at home. Boys and girls who live in rural areas have the outdoors close at hand, so much of where scouting takes place in the first place. Each youth can progress at their own pace, building upon their own interests and abilities. But the youth does have personal help from an adult counselor. And that adult counselor could be one of the parents, could be a pastor, another scout, anything along that line. But whoever it is has to be approved by one of the child's parents, and also has to be approved by the BSA. The Lone Scout counselor has to be at least 21 years of age and agrees to be the youth's Lone Scout friend and counselor. It is preferable that it is one of the parents, but can also be a minister, teacher, neighbor, or scouter. If not a parent, the Lone Scout counselor must be approved by one of the youth's parents. The counselor must also be approved by the local council, which makes sense. The Lone Scout friend and counselor helps the scout get the most out of scouting in many ways that the Cub Scout pack and Boy Scout troop leaders help youth in scouting. Counselor guides in planning and scouting activities, encourages the youth to growth and develop from his own or her own scouting experiences, instructs, examines, and reviews as Lone Scout on all steps in their advancement, helps the youth use the resources of the Scouting America local council and district in which the youth and counselor both reside, helps the youth get the local council resident camp, get to there, serves the role model for scouting ideals. Lone Scout carries on many activities at home, exercise initiative, and acting independently, but they must also participate in district and council activities along with the youth from scouting units. The privileges of being a Lone Scout: you get to receive a membership card and a right to subscribe at half price to Scout Life, the magazine for all youth. The right to purchase scouting literature and equipment, wear the uniform including the special Lone Scout neckerchief and medallion, a badge of rank, attend district and council activities, and go to scout camp. Becoming a Lone Scout, you may secure applications from the local council service center that serves your community. You'll find it under Scouting America in the white pages in your phone. And then there's an address to write to in Irving, Texas. If you're unable to find the name, you can write to Scouting America. Youth are able to attend regular meetings of packs and troops not eligible for Lone Cub Scout or Lone Scouts BSA member status. That would be the reason for becoming Lone Scouts. Each program has a different handbook for the youth. The questions come up, can I be a Cub Scout or Scouts BSA member if there's no pack or troop near the home? The answer is you certainly can. Throughout the country and throughout the world, youth who do not have access to scouting units can become Lone Cub Scouts and Lone Scouts BSA members. And read off the internet reasons why somebody would become a Lone Scout. Experience through the years shows that many youth who cannot join a pack or troop choose to become Lone Scouts because they are youth being homeschooled whose parents do not want them in a youth group, children of American citizens who live abroad, exchange students away from the United States for a year or more, youth with disabilities that may prevent them from attending regular meetings or packs and troops, youth in rural communities who live far from a scouting unit, youth of migratory farm workers, youth who attend special schools, night schools, or boarding schools, youth who have jobs that conflict with troop meetings, youth whose families frequently travel, such as circus families, families who live on boats, and so on, youth who alternate living arrangements with parents who live in different communities, youth who are unable to attend unit meetings because of life-threatening communicable diseases, youth whose parents believe their child might be endangered in getting to scout unit meetings. That's kind of interesting. You got the Scout Oath or Promise. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally weak, and morally straight. I probably actually had that memorized back when I was a Boy Scout. I remember the big Boy Scout motto was "Be prepared." That was a big thing. But anyway, that's what I was able to find out on Lone Scouts. I thought it was an interesting topic to discuss. And like I said, I'm looking for ideas on shows to do in the future. Shows about preserving history, especially obscure aspects of history. And getting close to show 900. And get past that, then I can start working on getting it to 1,000. That it gets more challenging because I run out of subjects to discuss, but I do have some ideas written down for future shows. But if an idea comes to my head, I do that one first. And when I get to the point where I've totally run out of ideas, then I'll finally go to that list. Or if it's the point where that list has been around for so long, I'm getting tired of looking at it, I will go down the list and just finish it off. Do the basis shows on what's written on the list. But anyway, if it's feasible, I can research it. I will base a show on it. I don't discuss politics, put anything politically related. And that being said, like, subscribe, share as always. Thanks for watching.